Hey, Todd here with Jeep Speed Shop, here to talk about our new JK Hemi engine mounts. These mounts will work with any Hemi, any size, so from 5.7 to 7 liter to whatever. This mount will bolt up and work with any Hemi. This is the one we use for our truck engines. We have this mount set to where the engine is as low as possible, so the engine's actually level, okay? But we have the engine down level so that the mechanical fan is centered in the radiator. Now, this is the driver's side mount, the left side. The mount that's inside, the rubber mount, the isolator, we're selling with the mounts, so you get a left and right isolator. This is the adapter that the isolator bolts in that goes to the engine block. Here's the spacer for the driver's side. This is the rear spacer. It's a 1/2 inch. Here is the front spacer, which is a 1/4 inch. Here is the relocation bolt for the knock sensor for the driver's side. So we need to move the knock sensor back and down a little bit because we have the mount so high that it takes place of the knock sensor. We're also giving all the hardware. So you have 6 bolts to mount the isolator to the mount, and then we have 6 bolts to mount the mounts to the block. So these are left and right hardware. And then you reuse the stock JK motor mount bolt. And now we're on to the passenger side. Now both of these mounts, just so we can show you, they don't have heat shields over them. So these are just our mock-up mounts, but the mounts that you'd be getting are exactly the same. They're just welded and they have heat shields over the top. So on the passenger side, it's the opposite. 1/4 inch in the back, 1/2 inch in the front. And this doesn't need to relocate the knock sensor. Knock sensor goes right back in. Now, these mounts are for 2007 to 11. Now, if you have a 12 to 17, on the passenger side, you are going to not use the 1/4 or the 1/2 inch spacer. You are going to use a 3/4 inch spacer, and that goes in the front. Because the mount on the frame is in a different location on the 12 to 17 Jeeps than it is on the 7 to 11 Jeeps. So this is just to make it easier. Now you don't have to cut the mounts off of the frame. You leave the stock mounts on the frame. These bolt up to the side of the block, and then these make it so you could drop the engine in without having the mounts off either. So you can have the mounts still mounted to the engine, ready to go, and it makes it a lot faster. So now you have to cut, no grinding, it's a lot quicker. So this is just the way that we're going to be doing it now. We'll still be offering the weld-in mounts if you wanted them, but this is just a lot faster. It's strong. These are made out of 1/2 inch material, so they're really strong and beefy. And we have it to where this engine is low as possible, and these mounts also work with our new headers. So this mount works together with our headers and with the truck engine. It'll also work with a car engine. It doesn't matter. You have electric fan, manual fan, it doesn't matter. This works out really well. Lowers the engine down in place too, so that it's not at an angle anymore. Now it's level. So these mounts have been working out really well. We've already done 30 Jeeps with these mounts and with no problem. It's a lot faster, speeds things up, strong, and works out really well. So it comes with all the mounting hardware. It'll come with both isolators, left and right, and it'll come with the spacers and the adapter for the knock sensor. All right, so that's it on our JK Hemi mounts, and these mounts are for 2007 to 17 Jeep JKs with a 5.7 liter to 7 liter Hemi. It doesn't matter what Hemi, aluminum, cast, whatever. these will work. All right, just another way of us trying to make life easier, putting a Hemi in a Jeep, and faster and a lot better. Oh, and another thing, with this mount, it's a locking mount. And the left and the right mount are the exact same, so you can't get them mixed up. They're not hydraulic mounts. You don't need hydraulic mounts in a Jeep. These work way better. They're strong. They're not going anywhere. Very durable, and you don't get any engine vibration. They're a factory mount, and they're a Chrysler mount. So this is something that's in a Chrysler now. It's actually in a diesel. So this mount was made to handle a lot of torque and power. Very strong mount, and it's very simple and light and small. And with these mounts, you have a lot more clearance. If you have modified suspension, a lot more travel, because these mounts are actually higher up inside the frame. Another thing too with these mounts, if you already have a skid plate from the JK when it had a 3.8 or a 3.6, you retain the front engine skid plate because it bolts right back in, because we didn't cut anything out. So all that bolts up, all that stuff works too. So all the skid plates work. Our headers work with this. This is just a way better way to go. So, all right, Jeep Speed Shop out.